Welcome, everyone, to a special live edition, Sunday night edition of Fair Territory. We are coming on in the middle of the Yankees Red Sox game on Sunday Night Baseball. And before we get started, I would like to congratulate the Colorado Rockies on participating this season. I was so excited to congratulate them. I stumbled over their words. They participated, and now they are eliminated. Bye-bye to the Rockies. Yes, they're going to finish the season, of course, but it's a fairly early elimination, wouldn't you say? But to the good stuff. We've got Yankees Red Sox this weekend. We had Dodgers Padres as well. We've got a lot to talk about. The Mets coming up against the Phillies. The Cubs may be closing on the Brewers. Could it be? Well, we'll see about that. But first, Yankees Red Sox. Now, as I said, this game currently is in progress, and the Yankees are leading 5-2 as we do this live on Sunday night. Even if the Yankees win tonight, of course, they would have lost 3 of 4 in this series. They would be 2-8 against the Red Sox on the season. It's not good. And what we saw entering this series, we thought was a resurgent Yankee team. But how resurgent was it really when they went 7-1 against Minnesota, St. Louis, and Tampa Bay, 3 teams that sold at the trade deadline? And then when you go and face a better club, the Boston Red Sox, a team that has basically owned you this year, you fall apart again. You saw the first 3 games of the series, not good for the Yankees, culminating with Saturday's 12-1 embarrassment. Granted, it was a game Crochet pitched, a game the Red Sox expected to win, but it disintegrated into something else entirely. Now, on Sunday, for Sunday night, we saw the Yankees finally bench Anthony Volpe, and you see him there. He has struggled both offensively and defensively, and at one point, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I wrote a column describing how the Yankees kind of view Volpe as almost a teacher's pet. They protect him. And as Chris Kirshner wrote in The Athletic on Saturday, there's no reason to protect him anymore. Among shortstops who are qualified for the batting title, he ranks 24th out of 26th in wins above replacement. He's only 24. We get it. But he's had about 800 plate appearances in the big leagues. He, if not a Gold Glove defender, has extremely little value the way he is hitting, the way he is so streaky. So that was a positive step for the Yankees Sunday. They had to do this move, in my opinion. We'll see if Volpe snaps out of it, and we'll see if Jose Caballero now maybe gives them a lift. It all remains to be seen. And Volpe is only one player, one part of a much larger problem. This is a team that we have seen sloppy. We have seen them stumble. We have seen repeatedly, not just this year, not just in Game 5 of last year's World Series, but for quite some time now. A team that lacks fundamental soundness. A team that, frankly, as I wrote during last year's World Series, at times looks like it doesn't know how to play baseball. That's a huge problem. Now, things can get better. Get better when Judge gets back to the outfield. Maybe they have an outfield then of Judge, Grisham, and Bellinger. Much better defensively. You get Dominguez out of left. They get better if Max Fried is as good as he looked in this series. He had a bounce-back start. And with Rodon and him and possibly Schlitter and maybe Warren or Heels stepping up, you've got something in the rotation, and their bullpen should stabilize. I do expect that. But the Yankees are, if they win this game on Sunday night, 2-8 against the Red Sox, 3-7 against the Blue Jays, and you wonder where this is all going. What happens if they miss the playoffs? Unlikely, but what happens? More likely, they could get knocked out early. That's certainly a scenario we can envision happening. Does Aaron Boone come back? Does Brian Cashman come back? Or do they finally turn the page? All of this seemingly is in play. Now, the Red Sox, obviously the flip side of the coin here, terrific series for them against the Yankees. And terrific because they got a strong start from Bayo, a strong start from Crochet. Now, Dustin May, not so good Sunday night. He's been a little bit inconsistent. And I question with the Red Sox, the one thing I question is whether their rotation will be good enough in the postseason. Buehler is out now. Kyle Harrison looks like he's going to replace him on Monday night. So you're looking at Crochet, Cy Young candidate, one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. Bayo, an emerging star perhaps, but still young. And Giolito, who has been up and down. And then where do you go from there? That's my question with the Red Sox. They're getting healthier in the bullpen, and certainly their lineup right now is really intriguing. I kind of love their lineup with Roman Anthony, of course, being what he is, and with Trevor Story resurgent, Bregman doing what he's doing. All of that is good. It's just with the Red Sox, my one question is the starting pitching and the starting pitching both down the stretch here and obviously in the postseason. So that's Yankees Red Sox. It's wrapping up in the Bronx right now. And no matter what happens on Sunday night, not a good outcome for the New York Yankees. Over on the West Coast, Dodgers Padres series at Petco Park. The Padres win 2 of 3, win the first 2 games of this series. Both games that they won pitched brilliantly. A great start from Darvish on Friday night and a great start from Nestor Cortes Jr. against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the team that haunted him in the World Series on Saturday. Padres won both those first 2 games, allowing only 1 run. The Dodgers offense finally woke up on Sunday, an 8-2 victory. They got some home runs from Freeman, 2 from him, another from Ohtani. All right, where are we with this one? The 2 teams are tied for first place in the division again. And it seems to me that the Dodgers are not yet what the Dodgers are going to be. The bottom of their lineup for a couple of weeks now has sort of resembled what the Padres lineup, or the bottom of the Padres lineup looked like before the trade deadline, before they acquired Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano and really deepened themselves, Freddie Fermin as well. The Dodgers right now playing without Max Muncy, Kike Hernandez, Hyun-Sung Kim, and Tommy Edman. Those guys are in various states of rehabilitation from injuries. Kike is expected back first. He'll be this week, and then the others as well. Once all of that happens, then we'll see a more representative Dodgers lineup, one that you could expect would be a much more potent version of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Frankly, I am surprised, even now, looking back in retrospect, at how easily the Dodgers handled the Padres at home last weekend with essentially the same cast of characters. This is a lineup you might see in a spring training game, honestly. It's just full of holes at the bottom, or players that you would not necessarily expect to be seeing in a pennant race for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm talking about Buddy Kennedy and Alex Freeland to a point, I should say. Alex Freeland had a great series, 2 home runs, and 1 in each of the first 2 games, but he's a young guy. And they've been mixing in these guys. They have to keep playing Conforto. All of these things are happening, and it's not ideal. Once they get their guys back, okay, something else. We'll see a little bit of a different team, and we'll see them get deeper in the outfield, which is where they have a huge problem right now. In OPS, in left field, they are something like 23rd, or going into Sunday, they were 23rd. Michael Conforto, an awful season for him. That's been a bad signing. His days are numbered. Once those injured guys come back, he could be a DFA candidate without any question. So once those players come back, you figure out the outfield. You maybe keep Teoscar Hernandez in right, but hopefully get him playing better. You don't move Mookie back out there, in my opinion. If you watch the Dodgers play, Mookie Betts has been brilliant at shortstop, brilliant defensively, and he ranks pretty highly in the metrics as well. So you figure it out with Edman and Teo and all the different players that are in the mix. Andy Pages, Kike Hernandez, Kim can play the outfield as well. That, to me, is the way they have to go. Now, the Padres, here is a team that playing at home is something else entirely. They're great at home, and they should be. And I'll talk more about this in the Inside Dish. They are a team that at home has a certain energy about them because of the crowds that they're drawing. And we saw it this weekend. They rallied from what happened last weekend at Dodger Stadium. Of course, pitching was a huge part of it, but that's a different team at home. Now, with the Padres, the question still, even with the additions of O'Hearn, Laureano, and Fermin, is the offense. This is a team that is sort of like the Blue Jays and Brewers in that they make a ton of contact and don't strike out a lot, but they don't slug like the Blue Jays and Brewers, even the Brewers. Padres are 25th or were 25th in slugging percentage entering Sunday. The Blue Jays were 6th and the Brewers were 14th. These are all high contact, low strikeout offenses, but the Padres, for whatever reason, have not hit home runs. And Fernando Tatis Jr. has been emblematic of that. He's had a brilliant season. If you look at his strikeout rate and walk rate, they are the best of his career. You look at his defense, outstanding in right field, Gold Glove. His base running, brilliant. He just hasn't slugged the way he normally has, and Eno Saris and Dennis Lin wrote about that in The Athletic last week, why that might be happening. He's kind of, again, emblematic of where they are. If they get Tatis going again, I expect that that's going to be a different offense. If they get him hitting the ball more in the air than on the ground, that would be a huge transformative thing for them. Can it happen? Yes, it can happen. Now, they should too get healthier. Jackson Merrill on the injured list right now. Michael King also on the injured list. Jackson Merrill obviously is a huge player for them. He's going to come back. They kind of debated putting him on the IL for a couple of days there because they thought maybe he could come back without going on the IL, but didn't happen. They get Michael King back, and they get Jackson Merrill back, not Merrill King, then they'll be in really good shape. So that's the Padres-Dodgers, exciting series, no question at Petco. And finally, I want to touch on the Mets and Phillies just a little bit. The Mets have a little bit of a Yankee thing going in that they're beating up lesser teams, and we'll see how they do against the better teams. They trail the Phillies by 7 games in the National League East. 7 games. Now, they have a series against the Phillies this week. And the Phillies, yes, terrible loss of Zach Wheeler. Thank goodness he's okay. He had the TOS surgery. He's going to miss, obviously, the rest of the season, but he'll be back next year. But even without Wheeler, their rotation could be pretty good. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Nola, good start on Saturday. Suarez, brilliant on Sunday. They've got the making still of a good rotation. The Mets aren't catching them. The question really is how good the Phillies can be. And the question also is, can the Mets hold off the Reds? Yes, the Cincinnati Reds for that third wild card spot. The deficit is a game and a half. We could see the Mets' next pitching prospect, Jonah Tong, pretty soon. We've seen Nolan McLean. That's pretty good. But if we are going to believe in the Mets, we're going to need to see better starting pitching out of them beyond David Peterson, beyond McLean, and basically just a better showing than we've seen in the last couple of weeks. There's no question about that. Montas likely headed for Tommy John. Manaea has not been the same. Senga is a bit of a wild card. It has not worked out the way we all thought it would when they looked so good early in the season. So that was a quick summary of all 3 of those races. We're going to have more in the Inside Dish on Padres, Dodgers, and Yankees Red Sox coming up after this.
FT fam, welcome to the world's most comfortable swimwear. For a moment, we are talking about Fair Harbor. We actually have some show and tell today. This is the liner that you're working with inside of the shorts and the bathing suits.
You know what the best part is about this, Scott?
What?
They have a lot of different options because these are clearly yours because I would never order this pattern, but
that
they
is
look
so
great
me.
on you.
That is so me.
These are so you. Mine are a little bit more plain than this.
Yes.
But they are super comfortable. The liner, I love liner shorts. Some people don't. But these liners are better than most that I've had on, if not all of them.
Yeah, this is the best liner out there.
No mesh. All of the above is perfect.
Exactly. It's really good. You got to give it a shot. Also, fun random fact, you get a new shirt. It smells really good. So head to fairharborclothing.com/FOUL and use code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. Once again, fairharbor, HARBOR clothing.com/FOUL for 20% off your first purchase and use that promo code FOUL so they know FT sent you.
Time now for the Inside Dish, the part of the program where I go inside a story I've written, maybe a trend in the game. This week, I'm going to do something entirely different because of what I just did in my job over the last few days. I had the privilege, and yes, I mean the privilege, of doing games for Fox in both the Yankees Red Sox series and the Padres Dodgers series. We had on the Fox network Thursday night, the first game of the Yankees Red Sox series, and then on FS1 Saturday, we had the second game of the Dodgers Padres series. Now, this entailed a little bit of travel, of course, obviously, but at the same time, I was, again, privileged to get a taste of both these rivalries, and I want to talk about which is the better one right now. Frankly, I don't even see it as close. Give me Dodgers Padres right now over Yankees Red Sox, and I'll give you a whole host of reasons why. Number one being the Dodgers and Padres are better teams. And yes, the Red Sox are coming, and they've got some exciting young players. The Yankees, of course, have Aaron Judge. But the Dodgers and Padres right now are 2 of the elite teams in the game. And when a rivalry is at its best, it is when 2 powerhouse clubs are squaring off and doing it in the same division, doing it in the same geographic region, as these rivalries can both be when they are at their peaks. Now, I talked to Xander Bogaerts about this on Friday because I thought he was a really good guy to give his perspective on which is the better rivalry. He was a member of the Red Sox for 10 years. He's been with the Padres for the last few, so he's got a real sense of what these two different rivalries are. And what Xander said was, quite obviously, hey, Red Sox Yankees, that's more historic. There's no question about that. Goes back, I don't know, 100 years plus. However, Padres Dodgers in more recent times, in Bogart's opinion, and mine too, is the better rivalry simply because there are more established stars on both sides. Now, you see it a little bit in Yankees Red Sox, of course, with Judge and Stanton on the Yankee side. Garrett Cole hurt right now. And the Red Sox have Bregman. They have some emerging young players as well. Garrett Crochet certainly is a star. But in Dodgers Padres, what are we seeing? We're seeing all the MVPs with the Dodgers. Otani and Freeman and Betts. We're seeing Machado and Tatis and Bogarts and Jackson Merrill for the Padres. And that, in Bogart's view, is what distinguishes this rivalry and what makes him think, looking back, at what Red Sox Yankees was in the 2000s. Remember that? Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter on one side, David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez on the other. That is what makes this so special. When you have stars of that magnitude, and let's face it, when you have as well a little animosity between the teams. The Dodgers and Padres met in the 2022 DS, won by the Padres, and the 2024 DS, won by the Dodgers. They have had some heated moments in these games, even this year. You remember that squabble between Mike Schilt and Dave Roberts. So there's a lot going on with that particular rivalry. And Petco Park and Dodger Stadium and Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park, these are all great venues, among the best venues in the sport. Certainly with Yankees Red Sox, the fan animosity is still there and will always be there, no matter where the teams are in the standings. Dodgers Padres fan animosity is right there with them. You can look on X, you can go to the games, you can judge it however you want. Those two fan bases don't like each other, just like the Yankees and Red Sox fan bases don't like each other. So we have something special on the West Coast as well as we do on the East Coast. And as I mentioned in the first segment, Petco Park is part of this. The Padres have sold out 58 of their 64 home games this year. They are on pace to top 3.4 million in attendance. That's going to set another franchise record. Kind of shows you the value of building a really exciting, fun team, a winning team, what it can do to your business. Attention, every other team in the major leagues. So that aspect of it has been the one huge difference in Dodgers Padres in recent years. Petco Park is alive. It is electric. When they do all the small things in the eighth inning and everybody's singing, it's one of the cooler moments. And it's a little edgier than Sweet Caroline, okay? And on Friday night, after the Padres beat the Dodgers for the first win of this series, the fans were streaming out of the park. They were going down the ramps, and they were still chanting, "Beat LA," and they were still chanting, "Let's go Padres." And it reminded me so much of Game 3 of the 2004 ALCS. I'm sorry, Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, when the Red Sox finally got their first victory. And I'm walking down from the press box to the clubhouse, because that's how it is at Fenway. You either walk or you wait for this 90-year-old elevator. And the fans, even down 3-1 at that point, they had just gotten their first win. They were fired up. They were chanting. They were singing. They were yelling not nice things about the Yankees, as they do. And that's the kind of electricity both of these rivalries bring. But again, when we're talking right now about where these suckers stand, Dodgers Padres versus Yankees Red Sox, not even close. Dodgers Padres is the new Yankees Red Sox, and until proven otherwise, that's how it stands. We'll be back right after this with Grillin Ken.
Kratz, if you need to pay rent for your apartment and you're not getting anything for it, then you probably haven't heard of Bilt.
You have to pay rent every single month. Why not get some points that you can redeem for other things that are a lot more fun than paying rent, like flights, hotels, Uber rides?
That's right. And it doesn't stop there. Bilt is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine at your favorite local restaurants, and you can earn additional points with VIP treatment at certain fitness studios. And you can also enjoy exclusive experiences that are just for Bilt members. They announce them every month. Bilt is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you, and you can earn points on rent and around your neighborhood wherever you call home by going to joinbuilt.com/foul. That's joinbilt.com/FOUL. Make sure to use our URL so they know that FT sent you. Get after it.
BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during the baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Visit the BetMGM app to access the game, and you'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. Strikeout? No problem. Try again tomorrow. Gambling problem or concern? There is help. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, time now for Grillin Ken, the part of the program where I answer your questions. Let's get right to them. The first one comes from Scott Braun, none other than the host of Foul Territory. He asks, thoughts on the Basayo extension, and I felt like the Bautista injury didn't get enough play. Orioles lost one of the best relievers in baseball for most, if not all, of next season. Scott is right about that. The loss of Felix Bautista for the Orioles is huge, and I believe we had Andy Koska on Foul Territory earlier this week, and he mentioned how the Orioles are going to need to find multiple relievers and multiple starters this offseason, and it's not going to be easy to do. Certainly, they are willing to spend money. We've seen that. We saw it last offseason, and we saw it with the Basayo extension, though I still contend that any club, all 30 of them, would do that extension in a heartbeat. It's club-friendly, as these things often are. So it was encouraging to see the Orioles finally get one done. Mike Elias had not given out an extension to a young player in his tenure before the Basayo deal. But at the same time, you're going to have difficulties with Gunnar Henderson and Jackson Holliday. Both are represented by Scott Boras. Both are more inclined perhaps to go to free agency than other players would because Scott prefers his guys to establish their values on the open market. Doesn't always happen that way, but generally speaking, that is what Boras clients do. Adley Rutschman, I'm not so sure you want to give him an extension at this point. You want to see more. And then you have Westberg and Kauser and some of the other guys. Perhaps they can lock some of them up, but they're not the star caliber players. I don't think that those others are. So encouraging for the Orioles, no doubt. They still have a lot of work to do. You can watch them now and see the position player lineup they're putting on the field. It's encouraging. It's better. Basayo, I don't know if he's going to last behind the plate. I'm not hearing good things from scouts on what they're seeing from him at catcher. But at the very least, first base, DH, slugger, you can do a lot worse. So good news for the Orioles there. We'll see how it plays out in 26 because this will be a major test for General Manager Mike Elias and where they are going forward. All right, next question. This one comes from Chris, who asked, do you think Max Muncy is going to come back in time to make an impact on the Dodgers offense that definitely needs his presence? Chris, great point. And yes, I do expect Muncy to come back. He is getting closer to a rehabilitation assignment. And you're absolutely right. They need him. They especially need him against right-handed pitching. Their lineup is a little thin against right-handers. And they kind of need him to thicken that lineup. Not kind of. They do need him to do that. They are a top-heavy team even at their best with Freddie and Ohtani and Betts. Muncy gives them more. Will Smith, who is slumping in August, he too is part of that equation. But I do expect Muncy back, and I do expect him to play a big role. And that's one reason why I said in the first segment, we're not really seeing the Dodgers as we're going to see them just yet. Their bullpen is finally whole again with Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates, or reasonably whole. Kopech is coming back as well. But they need those position players back. They need to thicken their lineup, get the outfield straightened out, and all of that. All right. Next question. Let's see what this one is. Actually, there it is. From Foul Territory. Foul Territory poses the question, and this is a good one. Are Kyle Tucker and the Cubs back? Now, I'll give you one caveat. The Cubs played the Angels over the weekend in Anaheim, and while they had a terrific series, it's effectively a home series for them. Wrigley West, the way Anaheim is playing out, Angel Stadium, whatever you want to call it. There weren't a lot of people there, and the people that were there were Cubs fans, and the Cubs were very comfortable at home. and the fans were very comfortable making themselves at home, flying the W at the end of Sunday's game in particular. That said, we did see Kyle Tucker come to life in this series, and the deficit in the NL Central right now is down to 5 games. The Brewers have lost 5 of their last 7. The Brewers cannot play any better. So I expect this to tighten a little bit. The two teams are done with each other for the season, but it could get interesting down the stretch, especially if the Brewers start to feel it a little bit. I don't know that they will. They're not necessarily a team that is like that, but they're young, and we'll see if they can hold up. So with all that, I bid you adieu. I want to encourage you guys to have a great week, of course. And also Thursday, we'll be back with our live show, our normal time, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. Myself, Alana Rizzo. Hey, have a great week, everyone. The races are getting hotter. Enjoy.